that confident.
All y'all look like fucking clowns over there. Pathetic. You are pathetic.
Go ahead, please. Yes, please. That's perfect, honey. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, keep going, honey. Keep going, because the internet's gonna love it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Deport every illegal in Chicago and Illinois. Brandon Johnson, J.D. Prescott. Deport every illegal. That's what we're about.
Yeah, let everybody know how you feel. Yeah, tell them.
Chicago feels red, and we're for deporting every illegal
What's your name?
immigrant.
What's your name?
They know me, baby.
No. The internet wants to know you. What's your name?
Feels red, baby.
What is
Just so pathetic. Whose family member is this? Because what are these?
MAGA should not be allowed to celebrate 4th of July. If you are a member of MAGA, a red hat wearing dope who voted for Donald Trump and still right now supports what he's doing to this country, I don't want you celebrating 4th of July. You should be sitting in the corner in a dark room with a dunce cap on, your red dunce cap, and I want no fireworks, no barbecues, no hot dogs, none of it. You should be sitting in the corner in absolute shame. Donald Trump is systematically, every single day, destroying this country, and it's only been 5 months. It's going to get so much worse. If you went to school for all those years and you said that Pledge of Allegiance, justice and liberty for all, and you didn't understand what for all meant, it didn't mean everyone except the migrants, except the LGBTQ. If you didn't understand that, you don't get to celebrate the holiday, okay? If you're part of destroying this country, I want you to sit at home on 4th of July in fucking shame. And that's what it is. Throw me a follow.
Well, it's Independence Day, and I think Donald Trump's probably going to sign that big, beautiful bill today. I guess it's kind of fitting that the destruction of America is signed into law on the same day that the country was founded, so I guess it's fitting. I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling very celebratory on this 4th of July. Everything I see seems like the American experiment is over. I mean, they're putting more money into ICE than they do in the Marines. And half of America seems to be giddy at the idea of human beings being fed to fucking alligators. The American experiment was a failure. I mean, it always was. It was started on racism and genocide and slavery and just all horrific crap by a bunch of white supremacist pieces of shit. So, maybe it's a good thing it's over.
Happy post-independence for everybody who feel they deserve to actually celebrate, or they feel like Americans deserve to celebrate 4th of July. So as I'm preparing this video, I think I've seen or I've gone through a lot of videos that many of the Americans actually posted about 4th of July. I would like to address some few issues that I actually find it's very disturbing. Because during that day, the 4th of July, is when Donald Trump decided to sign the big, beautiful bill, or the Project 2025, one of the bill. And I'm asking myself, since Trump took over, the second term, has anything that he has put in place, or has any measures that has put in place that are actually bearing fruits for any Americans? I see MAGA, they're definitely posting that they will or they are celebrating, but we saw the massive crowds that were in the streets. Some of them were protesting, some of them were celebrating, and in the same case, it was the saddest day for Texas. The flood, a very disturbing case of rainfall and flood that unfortunately many of the Americans lost their life. Okay, few of the Americans lost their lives.
Okay, my house is flooding. Anybody out there? I have my dad on hospice and I need to get him out of here. He's bedridden. He can't walk. He can hardly move. And look where the water is. So somebody please, we've called 911. It's bad over here. In front of the house, it's like a river. I mean, it's like a lake. They can't come look. We've lost our cars, everything. We've lived here for 30 years and this has never happened. So anybody, please, if you have a boat or something, I need help. I need to get my dad out of here. It's starting to smell like sewer in here.
We pray for the families to actually have that strong energy to go through this very difficult time.
Today is July 4th, Independence Day, the day America declared freedom from a monarchy. They said we will not be ruled by a king. They said no taxation without representation. They drafted a constitution, built checks and balances, and created a system meant to avoid the tyranny they escaped. But here we are, 2025, and the irony is heavy. Because on the very day we're supposed to be celebrating independence, we are once again under a regime. Not one led by a king in a crown, but by a man backed by tech titans, corporate donors, and billionaires with no allegiance to the people. Independence has been undone. And it didn't take a war this time. It just took silence, compromise, and a little bill they passed when we weren't looking. The big Babylonian bill. Now, let's be clear. When I say founding fathers, I say it loosely because black people weren't included in the original vision of America. When they wrote the Declaration of Independence, they were still holding black people in chains. When they screamed freedom, they weren't screaming for us. So I say this not to glorify them, but to expose the hypocrisy. They declared independence from a dictator only to build a nation that enslaved others. And now, today, in 2025, we've come full circle back under authoritarian rule. Only this time, the chains are digital. The silence is systematic. And the faces behind it, Elon Musk, Project 2025, in corporate America. The big Babylonian bill passed quietly, no fireworks, no grand debate, because it was designed that way, to slide in as policy and come out as power. Here's what it did almost immediately. It dismantled judicial oversight, crippling the courts. It gave expanded deportation powers to ICE with no due process. It criminalized public protests under new civil disturbance language. It redirected funding from public services to private contractors. It gave billionaires immunity. It weakened voting rights enforcement. It stripped protection from whistleblowers. It defunded, climate protection and reinstated oil contracts. It removed civilian review boards from federal policing, and it created a framework where dissent equals treason. This bill didn't just pass, it rewired the system. And when the judicial branch lost its independence, the executive became the throne. And guess who's sitting comfortably behind the curtain? He didn't run for office. He didn't win a single vote. But Elon Musk still managed to hand over the White House, not out of love for this country, but out of love for his own freedom. Because all Elon Musk ever wanted was power without consequences. He feared accountability. So he brokered deals behind the scenes and helped install a puppet while protecting the real plays. While America was distracted by Trump's chaos, Elon Musk was rewriting the rules. He bought Twitter, now X, and turned it into a pipeline for misinformation. He dismantled safety teams, then claimed to be defending free speech. He amplified far-right voices, conspiracy theories, and propaganda. He met with Project 2025 architects behind closed doors. He lobbied Congress to deregulate tech industries. He secured military contracts through SpaceX and Starlink. He made himself indispensable not to the people, but to the regime. And here's the truth. You don't need to be president to destroy a democracy. You just need control over the narrative. You just need billions in silence. Let's be clear about what Project 2025 is. It's not a theory. It's a blueprint for for dismantling the administrative state, removing career civil servants, centralizing executive power, eliminating oversight, and privatizing the republic into corporate fragments. Together, Elon Musk and Project 2025 partner with corrupted branches of power to give Trump the appearance of control. But the real authors of this nightmare wear suits, sit on boards, and own media. This isn't a presidency. It's a performance. And the script was written by billionaires who don't want to be governed. They want to govern. So let's talk about what's been dismantled, not in theory, but in practice. The courts no longer have power. The Senate votes under threat. The media is splintered. Civil liberties are suspended under emergency clauses. And this right here is what the founding fathers feared. They created 3 branches of government to prevent tyranny. But when one branch is corrupted and the other is complicit, all it takes is a signature and the entire tree collapses. It took them years to build a constitution. It took this regime 7 months to gut it. So here we are on July 4th, not waving flags, but waving warnings. Because independence is not a firework. It's a fight. And that fight has been lost. For now. And to those who orchestrated this collapse, Elon Musk, the Project 2025 think tanks, every politician who voted yes on that bill, every corporate board that stayed silent, this is your legacy. You didn't just sell out a country, you sold out the future. So when people scroll through X, buy a Tesla, watch a rocket launch, or quote Musk like he's some genius, let them remember, this is the man who helped hand over America to authoritarianism just to keep himself free. This is the man who traded millions of people's freedom for his own ability to operate without consequences. And to his children, to the next generation of the Musk dynasty, no violence, no threats, just truth. Your father helped destroy what millions died to protect. Let history remind you every time his name is mentioned, not because of how rich he became, but because of how poor he left the rest of us. So on this day, July 4th, ask yourself, what are we celebrating? Because if independence means anything, then silence is complicity, and remembrance is resistance. This isn't just a TED Talk, this is a record. This is the story they'll try to erase, but not today, not on July 4th, not while we still remember what freedom was supposed to be.
So first, look what people are saying. A post on X, posts are flooding in, describing a somber mood across the country. Some users claim the holiday felt more like a day of mourning than a celebration of independence. One user wrote that they noticed fewer flags, fewer fireworks, and general lack of patriotic spirit in their communities. Others were directly trying to this political action, or they are tying this low celebration mode to the political history, specifically pointing to Trump's influence during this second term. But exactly what's happening to spark this reaction? So we all know things that actually, the events that have been led to this particular time. Trump decided to actually bomb Iran, as a way of promoting peace, At the same time, when he's trying, actually the other day, I think when he's trying, he promised that when he took office, within 24 hours, he'll stop the Ukraine-Russian war. And what happened? The day he's talking about peace, Russia dropped a very, very, like an assault never seen before in Kyiv. And to some extent, we believe that this man is failing both home and abroad. You see what happened? He went, bombed Iran, but who suffered the consequence most? Many of the, Israel infrastructure were hit by Hamas, So so apparently various news report that one major issue was sweeping the legislative bill that is being signed by Trump on Independence Day itself. Critics were calling the mega bill that they believe hurts middle and lower income Americans as well as vulnerable groups, like kids, the elderly, and disabled. While details on the bill are still emerging, the timing of its signing right on 4th, struck a nerve for many. How will you continue hurting a person who is actually surrendered, who the person is actually down? So that is what is like Trump did on 4th of July, signing the bill when people at least they want have that day alone to actually think about whatever bad things are happening in America or are happening from Donald Trump. He went ahead and assent the bill. It denies people the freedom to celebrate. So why will you celebrate when some kids medication? Some kids will not get medication because their parents cannot actually cover the bill. People say the bill will enable the low income earners to work hard. How will you work hard? You want people to work day and night, or what? Then I think the idea of I feel something. I feel something negative. I feel something is not right by the detentions facilities in America, because let's say, okay, who are working in Americans' farms now? Because I know these white Americans, they don't want to work that farm. Because one thing, you guys give low wages. You give low wages to your employees, to your farm workers. The kind of wages that actually don't attract even the white, your fellow white. So is slavery being brought back? Because I'm wondering who will be working in those farmland. So another factor, or the cancellation and disruption. Reports indicate that some cities cancelled their 4th of July events, from fireworks to parade. Even people mentioned that beaches were closed due to negligence by the federal facilities, crashing holiday plans for some families. There were protests in front of that. And there's a person who described the demonstration against what some call authoritarian policies, #No Kings for July, gaining attraction. For many, this disruption turned a celebration into a frustration. So basically, people were not very happy. So tell me, how did you celebrate the 1st of July? What is that really thing that made you, feel like I need this day, I need to celebrate this day? Maybe you can share with your friends. Maybe people can read and know that then you are picking a fight, but there are positive things to actually celebrate. I know many MAGAs will come to me, will come for me as for speaking against them, but it's the reality. I saw a video of a black woman carrying a placard yelling out loud that deport all migrants. Then it was like, what? Probably your mother came to America illegally, or your father, because you don't look like a half-breed. It's pure black, pure black dad, pure black mom. Then it's like you're celebrating deportation of other people. How many of you did you see the video? You know, it's very, 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 very sad. Yeah. Okay, thank you for watching. Till the next time.